but it's pretty close to just that because Sand King, he's going to Sandstorm underneath this tower, protects the tower, right? Well, Mind Control controls everything else.
Exactly,
in the lane,
and that's the trouble. It's not like you have off. Yes, but actually off the face of the Broodmother. Typical hero like to play Brood, Bat Rider, Beastmaster, Kunkka, because you actually can point, click, kill. Sand King, he's just going to get backlaned. Yeah, you'll trade farm, but to your point, MC is always going to get more out of the map, and he forces the one stun of PSG to be visible in lane under his own tower.
It's a good read, though. They did block the hard camp themselves with the sentry to limit the Broodmother's farm here. Another TP away.
It's beautiful. They see Sand King. Like they see the Sand King. He can't be there to interrupt TPs. If you disrupt to open, then he's going to TP away. It's child's play for Miracle.
At the same time, do you think that PSG LGD is that upset with that? Because if there's no Dragon Knight, then there's nobody who can stand in front of this tower. Yeah. They are going to get it with the Exorcism pretty cleanly.
Yeah. That's a good point. I think Miracle may regret he went base instead of to the tier 2. Probably could have not saved the tower, but at least alleviated some pressure. But up top, you know, the Terrorblade's already taken the tier 1. And there is a gold lead for Team Nigma, along with the kills. You know, 5-1. If you check out the net worth, it's 1,000 gold lead that Terrorblade has on pretty much everybody else. And MC also off to a great start. Miracle last in net worth in his course, but he's not like he's having a bad game. Hasn't died, hasn't found a kill. Thread soon to be completed.
Gonna use the dust here. Oracle, he knows Fate Beyond. His only option out of this one is to be able to turn with the epicenter, the disruption going out. Sandstorm trying to kill as many spiders before he dies. Mind Control's low enough, though, that the poison will actually wipe him out. Nicely done by Xin Q, showing up at the right place, right time.
Bit of a mistake from Kuro there. He accidentally got the disarm Fate's Edict on the Sand King instead of his friendly Broodmother. That would have absorbed a couple ticks of the epicenter and no damage taken. The heal also would have probably saved MC. Instead, he'll lose his Brood. They do get a trade. But most unfortunate because, you know, he had spiders, he would have kept going. That would have been a tier 1 for sure. Top lane, careful. Ame's here, gets the courier. Rushing Diffusal. This is your only play. It's what we discussed. They have to focus on their mid-game team fight and overwhelm the side of Team Nigma.
Sandstorm again, trying to defend. The dust does catch him here. Faith Beyond, he's being routed. Kuro behind the tier 1 tower, ready to set up with the Fortune's End. That'll lead into the Dragon Tail stun, and also lead into a dead tower here. And LGD, you look at them, it's not like they're mirroring like you normally see and trying to pressure the other side of the map. I think they were very dependent on Faith Beyond to hold towers for them.
Yeah. But they're doing what they can, really. There's no way to fight. They had no Exorcism and no Diffusal.
Sure.
It's suicide to fight into Team Nigma, especially when you look at the items they've already acquired. I mean, GH has a full mech. It's on the courier right now, about to be delivered. And Miracle's skipping treads because he just wants a Blink Dagger. He doesn't have a full mech. Sorry, that was the Broodmother. I was like, what? What does he have the headdress for?
Dire's structures are fortified.
Okay, he had it queued up, but they say, you know what, we'll get it on MC. I can choose to go for a Rush Glimmer.
Okay, I mean, even just a value headdress does a lot with IO, right? Because the tether, healing amplification, everything. That's still okay.
I wonder what MC goes for next. Might just really get a pipe from
battling out here with ILTW. Seems like he really wants to kick this Terrorblade out of farming area. Once again, Faith Beyond left with nothing but an epicenter and a Burrow Strike turnaround. But of course, he's going to die every single time. Guaranteed relocate into the mid lane, but Miracle does die. As the Perch goes out in the Supernova, it's going to be successful. They can't get close enough. They brought the Broodmother into this one. The False Prom is going to go down. That'll bail Mind Control out for sure. PSG LGD likely to back up here as to relocate back down to bottom lane.
It was a very scary move from Team Nigma. If they save Miracle, maybe that goes a bit better for them, but when they don't, they've got to be cautious. MC almost got popped just as he came back in.
Yeah, seriously, I'm not sure. When you have just taken the tier 1 tower, you're going to start spreading your webs deeper into the enemy side of the map. Like, you're not really wanting to use any webs on the mid lane, and if you don't have any webs there, Broodmother's not much of a hero, so. There's
a bit of anti-synergy with the Wisp for that reason, where Team Nigma, they can fight around their Broodmother, but they really don't want to be bringing him into fights. No webs, no spiders, it's a grim situation. They have Ame, yep, he's going to have the Diffusal, it's on the way. So he'll actually be able to be an offensive threat. He can pressure this support duo now. His job is to run straight for Kuro and prevent the save, because if they go for the tether target, then he's just going to ult that and then spam heal on GH. Both heroes will survive almost guaranteed. They also have the added healing from the Broodmother mech, as they now clear off an easy mid-tier 1 MC. There's the Blink Dagger, rather Miracle on his DK.
Funny, Ancient Apparition, very early on, became one of the heroes of the meta. And I feel like this hero's only become more valuable because it wasn't even a Holy Locket meta just yet. That was just because there's a bunch of tanky heroes running around. The percentage-based damage was good. Also, these heroes naturally had like regen factors like Dragonite and Timbersaw. Now it's like, okay, Nigma's drafting double heal supports every time. Like, anything to stop this healing would be great, but there's not a super lot of options in the first 20 minutes.
I love this positioning, though. They have to play around their Brood, and they want the tier 2 to control Outpost. It's only 13 minutes into the game. You take a tier 2, that's a huge XP lead. And how do you fight this if you're PSG LGD? You need positioning, and they're not going to get it.
Sunray burning out LGD. They're going to try and fight this one, even bringing Ame into this one.
What?
He relocated forward, but dropped the tether, I think, instantly realizing this was not a good jump. They did not expect PSG LGD to be there in force. And now, with the IO gone, it's going to kill their opportunity here, but nothing to say. Actually pops the Exorcism, thinking they were going to catch somebody there, but the Dragonite blinked away before any damage could touch him.
They got so much damage on the tier 2. A weird play there from GH. The kill would have been nice, but I think they were fine just posturing, beating into the tower. The objective was the goal, but Miracle may be a bit antsy as well. He wants to kill the Shadow Demon. That is the right target, but you can't really dive into a Death Prophet Phoenix lineup, especially with Epicenter as a threat. Faith Beyond had the blink, and it is just a real spooky place to be, but they got the Exorcism. That's huge. Still with Blink DK, he'll have no form, but they should be able to find a pick-off if they can jump quick.
He dive away before Miracle? He cannot. Dragon-tailed. Follow-up Fortune's End that was put on the Dragon Knight. Yeah, Miracle tips Curl for that one.
That was really well set up, man. They are just great Dota from both teams. Only a 1K gold lead.
Faith Beyond.
LTW. Scary, okay.
Weird situation.
That's because they have the tier 2 for free. This is huge. Will they get the outpost before the minute mark? They're going to try.
Really obsessed about that.
They obviously prioritize it, Cap. Come on, that's a 3-man grab. They get it just beforehand. Every little bit counts. And GH just kind of hovering around now, doing wisp things. Mind control with the very early Greaves. The sustain on Team Nigma is nuts right now. And to win a fight, PSG LGD, they've got to somehow exploit the backline. They need a blink stun with PL immediately going in. Nice heal to save the creeps. You can see the Sandstorm still deals with the spiders very effectively. MC's got to be cautious. Now an Aether Lens on the Shadow Demon. Very effective tool against the Terrorblade. Just take your own illusions.
And then have an illusion battle. Not illusion. That Shadow Demon. Gonna be caught. Faith Beyond intercepting though with a Burrow Strike Epicenter follow-up. They see GH. They want to be able to kill him at the same time. Miracle's a good target. Supernova on the high ground. Miracle turns around, trying to deal with that, but his only range hero, he will not be able to kill this egg. It successfully explodes. GH with the relocate out, denied by the Burrow Strike. ILTW will get burned up with the fire and flames as LGD punish a huge overextension. Enigma. Oh,
this time it's their turn to free DDs just outside of the Roche. Yeah, take a bottle. They're gonna walk right in. What are you doing? Enigma, you can't. We saw that in the last game. The only way they lost a fight was a high ground. This time, Vince just places his egg there. They can't kill it. There's 4 heroes surrounding it, and they get roasted. Broodmother, he's bottom. What happened to play around the Broodmother?
Yes. Let me just tell you, Kyle. You listened to me. I was like, all right, I'm gonna learn. Biggest problem in clubs. Telling my allies, I'm not the hero that chits away the tier anymore. I'm a team fighting hero, and you have to play to my side of the map as much as possible.
It wasn't needed. Like, look at this fight. There's no way to win this. They don't even have the Exorcism. Perfect dive into egg, though. They have a ward, but they just can't kill it up there. You can see, they know. And the positioning, it's just GH, once again, he's so far forwards. ILTW, he commits because he's a team player, but once again, Nigma, they have 1 stun. If TB isn't there to deal damage, Miracle, he's Brown Boots Blink. He's not killing an SD by himself, and there is no Broodmother. I just, boggles my mind, they're playing so well, they just throw away their lead.
I think they also had meta coming up in that team fight. I think I saw ILTW had used it, but it was at the end because he was a melee form of the Supernova went off. So that just means they don't have a timing for still another minute after losing a team fight like that. Yeah, that's got to hurt a lot, Kyle.
Indeed. They have the Nether Shawl. It's quite nice. Probably the ideal Terrorblade tier 2 item at this point because he's against so much magic damage and he has so much base armor. But this is spooky now. I like the build from Faith Beyond. He's got the 4-staff post-blink. He'll go bots next to deal with MC's split push, and suddenly things get really dicey for Team Nigma because once again, they won't have that team fighting edge. They have healing, they have map control abuse. But right now, PSG they're acquiring tools to deal with the split pressure. There's one of them. Forces the Greaves once again to save the Spider Army, but that does mean he has to retreat. PSG they're making plays. They've got Exorcism at 20, but they don't even need to kill Kuro.
Yeah, they're going to be able to find him for free as he stumbles up into the high ground and runs into 3 LGD heroes. Mind Control trying to do what he can, building into a pipe, but again, until he gets to level 20, when you get the spider talent, like then you're better at being able to hit the tier 3 tower, but before that, it's just rather slow.
And you got to keep in mind, we've discussed the issues that PSG would have with Broodmother. It's actually worse for Team Nigma and the Phantom Lancer. The issue with this hero is when it gets somewhat lost in the mid game, but at this point, Diffusal Sanjanyasha, I don't care that he's 3rd in net worth. This will be the strongest hero in the game at 30 minutes. And right now, they've taken the enemy tier 2. That means outpost control comes back to them. Faith Beyond pops an epicenter just to farm up some spiders at 185 CS in only 19 minutes. Not bad, but I'd say at least half of that is thanks to MC.
Bot's almost done, especially if he sells the Quelling Blade, so he's probably thinking to himself, this is okay because he needs that to be able to join his team. Obviously, he really needs him being, you know, the only stun.
Yeah.
So he has to both be able to defend against his Broodmother and be able to join his team at top for team fights, so.
And I also just, man, win or lose, nothing to say has been incredible all 3 games of this series. Just no deaths on this Death Prophet, maybe one poor exorcism, but other than that, he has just been on point. And a great smoke now. They're looking to find the Brood.
This time around, they're going to catch. Pushing Broodmother. Nice Burrow Strike lead off. Phantom Lancer getting there. Managed to inhibit him, so the Mind Control is going to be slowed down. The relocate away. GH is going to be silenced. Nothing to say. Puts a stopper on that one. Both the supports denied their life-saving ultimates. And as they get burned out, ILTW blowing everything he has to try and turn around, but it doesn't make a difference.
Just beautiful pinch. They find the Broodmother. If that egg doesn't go off, maybe it's a little difficult, but you can see, just again, Innocence, the perfect swoop in the middle of it, pops the egg, the added damage. Suddenly, Nigma, you can't commit, and unfortunately, with Brood targeted, like, there's no damage. He's mostly sustained. The 2 supports don't offer much damage. That's a Dragon Knight with just a Blink Dagger. He's no damage. ILTW, he can't do it all by himself. He's fighting into an illusion army, the Drains. If this Phoenix, just offensive disruption so good, and now this egg just secures the team fight. A 3-man silence as well from Nothing to Say. Miracle, yeah, he'll survive, but
it doesn't matter, right? It's ILTW that's most important here. It's the being able to reset off of the support ultimates.
And it's just all of a sudden, Ame finds himself #1 in net worth and very much in control of this game. I just don't know how you're going to kill a Phantom Lancer here.
Yeah, the Broodmother feels terrible at this point. When you've committed so much of your control to one side of the map, and you're like, I no longer have that. I'm now playing on my side of the map. At 21 minutes at that, you don't normally expect it this early.
Yep, and there's the Holy Locket on the Phoenix, more sustain. But, you know, in a different style of play, you know, if Miracle went for the no-one build, a double bracer or Radiance, right?
Yeah.
Maybe things feel a bit better. You know that, hey, we're going to have this secondary scaling core that'll actually start to deal a lot of raw damage later in the fights. But, and it's not the question. You go Blink to play with the draft. They had a different idea in mind.
They have an early timing, no doubt,
exactly.
Right? This Broodmother DK lineup, you're supposed to be winning at 25 minutes, so he shouldn't be going for a later game build, right?
Exactly, but I just think it all comes back to that one fight around the high ground egg.
Yeah.
Away from MC, who rushed Greaves. This amazing team fight item. He's not present, and it's not his fault. As you say, he's a Broodmother.
Yeah.
He can't be everywhere, and that gives the tempo to PSG LGD. The moment they get an Aegis on the PL, you can no longer fight into them as Team Nigma, and they have gained a near 7K gold advantage, all from just that one play. And I love this. The Sunray, remember we learned about it, or at least a couple of us did. when you get the shard, you get a Sunray during egg. So it refreshes, you're in the egg, you cast Sunray. And when you pop out of the egg, you'll have another one. The added healing, 35% thanks to the locket. And when he pops out, he can also then just heal somebody. So Nigma, you gotta either kill him or the egg, but again, that's very high ground.
Over! Oh, managed to dive away just in time. Why? Getting a good Sunray out. JQ gonna be safe. He turns around, nearly perches up. There goes the Supernova. They're gonna come in. Can they kill the egg fast enough? They will. Epicenter coming in, but Faith beyond it. As soon as he goes in, he immediately goes back out. But still, they have to deal with this damn Phantom Lancer and that false promise. He had built up a heap of damage, and this AMD Phantom Lancer is totally untouched. Nice move by Mind Control up to the high ground before he TPs away. But again, disaster, disaster, disaster. That is what these team fights are spelling every single time for Nigma. They lose 2 cores and now support.
They have detection. Oh, no man of field. Okay, he got enough in time. They kill the egg, but it takes so much of their resources.
Yeah.
And Ame, nearly a full illusion army. They got the ult off an LTW. You're gonna see as it occurs. Why? Just a nice dive, tons of damage from the Sunray, full spirits out, and now you've got an ult LTW just to be able to finish the egg. But Ame, nothing to say. They're untouched. That's a 5 position. The 5 position Phoenix. And that's your only real, like, that's your main target. It's just so easy then for the DP and the PL to do as they wish.
Yeah, it's funny how, like, the 5 position, his quick reactions and being able to dive away is the biggest play of that team fight, right?
Yep.
If he's a little bit slower and gets caught, he dies before he gets off a Supernova. That fight could look a little different, though I'm beginning to suspect that the Phantom Lancer is a bit too big.
GQ has Ags. Shadow Demon.
I know he's going to be able to perfect the Dragon Knight every single one at a time of these team fights.
God.
Physical damage ramping up now for the Phantom Lancer. Even through the BKB, may be able to ignore that defusal, but you don't have any armor.
That's a crushing item.
Yeah.
And now the shard as well. Like, look, he's got an Aether Lens just because he's, again, illusions. That's the issue. They've identified the real just weakness of Nigma's lineup. They cannot deal with the PL army. So the shard now, double illusion, added cast range. As long as they have illusions in the fight, like, that's that. And right now, SD effectively just deletes Dragon Knight the entire game. Not break plus an extra 2 ultimates. I don't know what you do here. Team Nigma, they're gonna need some real magic.
Yeah. The Nigma booth gotten real quiet since that's what they thought was going to be a big draft advantage that wins them this game 3 and moves them up to the upper bracket finals. But instead, they're getting dropped down to that lower bracket rather early, and that hurts their chances of being able to go to TI again. They need to be able to make it all the way to the grand final. So having this extra life is so important for that journey.
Oh man, and the hardest road. They had to beat Virtus Pro, a tournament favorite coming in. They now find themselves against PSG LGD. And you know who they play if they were to lose? You know who the loser of this series has to go play?
Who?
Runner-up from the last major, Evil Geniuses.
Yeah, that's a rough one right
After
there.
beating IG in the wildcard tiebreaker.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, how many final bosses do you have to beat?
What is our build on Broodmother? So I was thinking about this. The build up? Yes. Okay, there we go. He's going the shard. I think maybe he needed that earlier. The shard being able to give the AoE miss percentage chance. So when the Phantom Lancer ever doppelgangers, you use that against him. Puts the 80% miss percent chance on him and all of his illusions. It's a huge way to be able to play against illusion heroes.
Okay.
So
that's a good point.
Really need to see that item picked up soon.
Doesn't kill them is my only concern, Cap.
Oh yeah. They're still going to be there and they're still going to be doing things, but at least it can mitigate the damage a bit.
Crow's in some trouble.
Yeah, he's dead.
And that's why you pick PL. As soon as they saw the Oracle, it's rough because
it's so hard to play against him. Yeah.
You don't have any way of actually dealing with them, and he can non-committally pressure you, right? His real hero wouldn't even have been necessary, theoretically. And now they just camp the pit. Roche up 20 seconds. Miracle trying his best to split push. He does have a BKB closing in on the Aghanim Scepter.
Okay, so that'll help.
Yeah,
I'll have a little bit more AoE damage.
Yep.
But this is this is supposed to be an additional solution to Phantom Lancer when you're ahead. Unfortunately, this is an Enigma lineup that is 9,000 net worth behind.
It's one of those problems, like the benefit of hindsight, right, allows you to point out a flaw in Miracle's build. Yes, he probably could have gone for more damage early on, maybe like an armlet build, right? Okay. So that he can scale a bit better, maybe even a Maelstrom, so that if they missed their timing, they wouldn't just straight up lose the game at 30 minutes. But again, they're not playing in that way. They're trying to win a game at 25 minutes.
They played to win. Like they did game 2, they said, we're going to hit a timing to end the game, and they did that successfully. Unfortunately, this time around, they may have missed that timing.
It definitely feels that way. Into the pit goes PSG LGD. Wow. Really tough to contest it.
Yeah, I have to imagine that maybe one of their ways back into this game was contesting Roshan, but apparently that's not the case here. So maybe Nigma are looking at a longer, drawn-out game as their best opportunity to be able to bring the comeback here.
It's possible. Net worth only really tells half the story. If you want to toggle hero level for me, you'll understand the big issue is that right now you've got 2 PSG LGD cores with their level 20 talents, and the supports even with a huge lead. The Phantom Rush range is amazing against heroes like Oracle and Wisp.
He sees you, he's rushing at you, and 5 seconds later, you're dead.
Yeah. And now an Arcane Rune and a Shiva's on Nothing to Say. That's also what Faith Beyond has queued up. They'll have 2 of them shortly. And, you know, another thing that Shiva's gives you nowadays, keep in mind, reduces all heals, regeneration and lifesteal by 25%. So always with these tools and reducing healing, which is effectively the entire Nigma lineup's draft concept, is out-sustain.
Yeah. The sad part is Miracle. There's a chance that he gets to his Aghanim Scepter before he's even level 18. Nothing to Say is going to go ahead and cripple this little split push thing that they got going on at the knees by being able to cut one of the creep waves, while the rest of his team is pushing forward with a smoke.
Oh, they saw that though. DK form popped by Miracle. MC doing what he can. The Micromaster, he's just trying to keep PSG LGD's creep wave away from his base. But they have one creep.
Pulling him back with all these spiders.
They're gonna pop Exorcism. That creep died though.
Dire's middle
they need this wave.
It's coming now. Exorcism still out.
Still backdoor. That was an Arcane Rune, keep in mind. We'll have another up shortly.
Backdoor protection now down. The creep waves here. The tower falls very quickly. Glyph is going to go out. PSG LGD, though, not exactly resetting. As you can see, Ame sending his army evolutions forward. The Glyph is now gone. Exorcism will help them finish it off. They're going to keep this going. Immediately Doppelganger to remove that reflection. Hitting the melee barracks. Nigma, they're again just trying to cut creep waves. They are desperate for any way to be able to stall this game out without taking a team fight. It's not going to happen. The melee barracks, one hit, and there it is. Ame manages to claim it. Now they will start retreating.
Yeah, I mean, Nigma did everything they possibly could through all resources, save perhaps a kitchen sink at PSG LGD's creep wave. But as you can see, they're relatively ineffective at actually hitting heroes. They were just kind of delaying the inevitable. That Rax was always going to fall. Ame's just far too tanky. The Satanic for the cleanse and the added sustain. He's just pointing. It's tough. He has Aegis still for another 2 minutes. They're just going to walk top, and there's a creep wave ready to go. They've had that Arcane Rune on the DP, so he has ult up in just 10 seconds.
Yeah, LGD's like, you want to talk about timings and pressure? How about this one, Nigma? We're going to go for a second lane of barracks. See what you can do about it.
Yeah, immediately. They have to fight through double PL. Second Exorcism.
They're just sitting there watching this happening because they can't really formulate a good way to take this fight. Miracle's looking for an opening here. Watching him spider legs up through the side. He really wants to be able to catch the Shadow Demon or this Phoenix, but Mind Control's in some trouble. Zombie's beginning to chase him down. Now they're going forward. Miracle's going to attack to the back line. ILTW pushing for Jin Q, but a disruption. That's going to be able to buy him a little bit more time. Now the Supernova going up. They do manage to get off a Sunder onto Nothing to Say. They're dealing with the egg at the same time. The egg does explode, but ILTW needs to be able to get a relocate back to the pound. He does live. A buyback now from the IO, but Miracle is in so deep trying to kill that Shadow Team, and Jin Q lives through it all. He dealt with the initiation, he stalled it out with the disruption, and he lives through the end of it.
And now there's the PL illusions. You can't deal with them. Really, against the PSGOD, their supports are so far back. Miracle, the reason he was furiously farming was to get the Aghanims.
Yep.
Maybe the cliff walking will allow him the position to get the SD, but you can see they just didn't have the damage. And the splash is not enough. The illusions are too tanky. Double Shivas on the side of PSGLGD. They're just going to rinse, repeat, wait for the cooldowns.
Jeez.
Xinq, he is just enormous. It's hard to find like the MVP of this PSGLG lineup because when they win games, it just feels like they all understand their job. They are playing just near flawless Dota 2.
Yep.
And if you're Team Nigma at this point, you need a miracle, and you already have one on your team, and he's not enough. So,
what's the Shadow Demon? I've forgotten about that one. Oh, that's right. You can cast it on allies.
Nice heal. Pretty good at dispelling, I guess, offensive Fate's Edicts and Reflections, and the damage reduction from DK's Fire Breath, and Silken Bola from... Okay, it's pretty good.
Yeah, yeah.
You just put that on Ahmed.
I mean,
don't know what's real, but so what?
Yeah, even just the heal is kind of interesting idea. That's for sure. I haven't actually seen that one in action yet.
Well, you got 3 of them, and only really 2 great targets.
Sure.
I can't remember. I had a discussion with Insania, I think, about it. SD versus Oracle relationship.
Mm-hmm.
See, queued up a... Whoa!
I mean, this game...
Where did he
It felt like it was lost, right? You needed an all-in play.
Okay. This might not be over just yet. Top net worth is still Terrorblade, and it's a little deceiving. It's a 15k gold lead, but check out the supports of Team Nigma, right? A lot of the gold they're behind is on the support relationship.
Yeah,
the cores are still pretty close. They gotta get back to base, though.
Throwing out that Silken Bola, trying to slow him down. You can see the miss percentage chance is doing something here, but it really feels like it's just delaying the inevitable. Now the Doppelgangers, Miracle jumping forward, going for the death proc, and immediately does get the disruption. No, they do have the Fortune's End going after. Okay, no, they're going to have to back up here. It's Ame, they're trying to deal with Ame right now. False Bomb's going to be used on the IO. Oh no, ILTW got bursted down. There goes the Divine Rapier. That damage happened quick and fast. So much magic damage. It overwhelms Team Nigma. It overwhelms ILTW. And Mind Control, rather, will play out his life on top of the throne. GG is called LGD. They are moving to the upper bracket final.
And they certainly deserve it, Cap. Like, just a great series. The Rapier comes out. A lot of oohs, a lot of ahs. Probably some chat spam, but that elation